Hey, this is Jason Cruz with MMA Payout out here in Seattle, Washington, and today we are talking to a guy I actually saw out in Washington State in person. Dalton Rosta is fighting Bellator 289 next week in Uncasville, Connecticut, against Anthony and Adams. Thank you so much for your time, Dalton. First question for you is, how are you feeling?
Oh, great, man. Great camp. I did everything right as usual. So feeling better than that.
Now, I just realized that you have a little puppy or a little dog in your arms. I thought you had it was a sweater, but what is the name and how old?
He is 9 weeks old, and his name's Pegasus.
Oh my goodness, Hercules and Pegasus with us today. Well, that is so awesome. What kind of breed is Pegasus?
He's a French bulldog.
Oh my goodness. Awesome. That is so awesome. That's great. Have you been wanting a French bulldog, or is this some gift from somebody or something like that?
I already have a French bulldog. Her name's Athena.
Okay.
And my girlfriend, I wanted a Rottweiler originally, but my girlfriend wanted a French bulldog. So we ended up getting a French bulldog. But I figured if I was going to get another dog, I was getting it for Athena, really so she has a friend. If I got a big dog, she would only be able to play with him for so long before he got too big for her. So I
Yeah.
went around her size, figure if I was going to get something around her size, might as well be the same breed. Same breed, might as well be opposite sex. So if I choose to breed them, I can. And I'm thinking I probably will.
Awesome. I won't try to talk too loud since it looks like she is very comfortable sleeping. But let's talk a little bit about your fight last time out in July. I was there actually in person to see it in Media Row against Romero Cotton. You looked solid. You looked swift. You knocked him out. You felt really good about your performance. What did you do since that time? Were you able to spend some time in Washington, or do you have to fly right out?
I flew right out. I was thinking about staying an extra day and traveling to Vancouver, doing a few things, but we decided based on scheduling for like my friends and family, my girlfriend and everybody else that it'd be best to get out of there early the next day.
Yeah, probably with everything with travel and everything like that. But were you back right in the gym for this training camp, or what did you take? Were you able to take some time off between then and now?
I took like 2 or 3 days off,
Oh,
and
wow.
I came back down to ATT. I think after like 10 days, I was back in Pittsburgh for about 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. Not 100% sure. It was a while ago. So, but I've been training ever since. And, I was waiting on a fight, was hoping for November 18th. Things didn't work out for that, and it got December 9th card. So, took a little break after I found out I wasn't fighting on November 18th just to, you know, recoup and make sure I wasn't pushing myself too hard, running myself into the ground, and started a new fresh camp after like a 5-6 day break and got right after it.
Gotcha. Now, as far as your opponent, this coming up, Anthony Adams, it's his first time in Bellator. He is a veteran of the Dana White's Fight Contender Series. Yes.
It's his second time. He fought
Oh,
once against Murdo's alive.
oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but it was a second time around, but it's second time around with the company. But what do you know about Anthony? Obviously, know his fight history more than I. But yeah, what do you know about him?
I mean, two-time Dana White Contender Series vet. Fought once in Bellator, hasn't fought in over a year, so not very active. He pulls out of a lot of fights, but who knows what the reasoning are for that. As far as his fight style, he likes to touch a lot. He seems like he's a point fighter. But if he chooses to point fight with me, he'll lose that battle as well. And he can only point fight with me for so long before he gets hit with something big, and he starts getting stressed out, starts scrambling. I think it's a matter of time before I finish him. Nobody's finished him, but that's because he fights cautious, and everybody was trying to fight at his pace. And even the fights he lost, he just kept fighting at the same pace, even though he was losing, just because he fights cautious, he fights safe. He doesn't want to lose, but at the same time, he's not fighting to win. So I think that's going to work to my advantage in this fight.
Now this sounds opposing to your style. I obviously, your last fight against Romero Cotton, you appeared to be safely ahead, but you still went for it, went for the knockout. You saw he was tiring, you knocked him out. And it sounds like this time this is a kind of a opposing styles as far as what you have seen with Adams. Now, it sounds like you've done your study on him. Do you usually do that for every fighter, or is that something like the camp helps you out with?
My coaches watch film, but I also watch film on my own. I've watched some film with my coaches, and I've watched some on my own. They watch some on their own. But when I'm watching, I'm the one that's stepping in there in the cage with them. When my coach is watching, they're drawing up a game plan. So when I'm looking, I'm, trying to see what his tells are, like when he's telegraphing punches, what he's doing before he kicks, what he's doing before he sets up certain combinations, how he reacts to pressure, how he reacts to takedowns, what his takedown defense is like. And also on top of that, sometimes, when he's doing very well against somebody, I'll go and look at their record, and maybe I'll even go and watch some of their fights just to get a good gist of how good they are, just to see like the level of competition he's competing against. And I do that for every fight, to answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
I watch plenty of film early on, and then I'll watch it periodically throughout camp, whenever I feel like it really, but I'm still getting it fresh in my mind. And then the week before the fight and fight week, I watch it a few more times just so it's fresh in my mind. And, there's a lot of things that I think I could capitalize on.
Excellent, excellent. And so so I assume that transpires with working with your sparring partners, as far as having, just like how a quarterback works for the scout team, you have your trained partners kind of emulate what you believe he will do, right?
No, this I kind of just sparred with just about anybody.
Okay. I gotcha. I gotcha. I gotcha. So as far as this goes, this should close out I'm sure this closes out 2022 for you. What are your plans or highlights you see yourself in 2023? Would you like to eliminate that prospect adjective from your description and kind of move on into like trying to see if you could break that ranking system for Bellator?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm a prospect, but at the end of the day, it's what everybody else labels you.
Yeah.
However, after this fight, I think I should shed a lot of that from a lot of people, but there's still going to be a lot of people that still apply that name to me. At the end of the day, I'm not a people pleaser. I'm not here to please everybody, because you're never going to please everybody. If you're pleasing half the people, the other half's still going to hate what you're doing. So I'm doing what's best for me, and I'm trying to have fun while I'm doing it. Next year, hopefully, I have 3 fights. I have most fun whenever I'm active. That's when I feel like I evolve the most. And this year, I'm getting 3. Hopefully, next 3, and maybe the end of next year, you see a completely different fighter. I feel like I've evolved a little bit each fight, but when you look at it by years instead of fights, I think there's a bigger difference.
Do you ever look back at your fights and see what you can what you can work on, or is this something where you get the input from the coaches yourself and work on those as you train for your next fight?
No, some things that I did in my last fight that I know were mistakes, I try to capitalize on them in practice after the camp. And then whenever I'm preparing for somebody, I go back and look at some of my fights sometimes, watch them over again. And I think like, all right, what does he think he can exploit? When I'm watching it, I'm kind of watching it from his point of view. It's like, all right, how's he going to game plan against me? And whenever I figure that out, that's when I start working those holes. You know what I mean? I start filling those holes so he can't use that game plan whatever he came up with.
I gotcha. And then as far as I understand you have a wrestling background, but as far as stand up or whatnot, where do you feel most comfortable in the octagon? I mean, sorry, in the Bellator cage.
Comfortable as in positioning, or
what you like to do?
I don't know. It's mixed martial arts, man. I like to do everything. So, um, I never go into a fight with a game plan like I'm gonna just strike or I'm gonna just wrestle. Whenever I go in there, I plan on mixing it up every single time. And if you go back and watch all my fights, it's exactly what I do. So I'm hard to prepare for because you never know what exactly I'm gonna do.
Gotcha. And as far as the holidays, we assume you'll be successful. That's what the intent is. What are your plans for the holidays? Are you gonna take some time off through the new year, or are you gonna get back in the gym? After the fight.
Well, I'm gonna go back to Pittsburgh at some point after the fight. Maybe I'll go down to Orlando immediately after, and then back to Pittsburgh after that. I'll stay through the holidays, but I'll keep training while I'm home. Maybe not as intensely. Maybe do some more weightlifting and less cardio and more technical based drilling and skill work. Maybe not much sparring. I'll do some live grappling rounds, but not much. Let my body heal, let my body recover, but still improve.
Do you have a gym in Pittsburgh that you work out with when you're in the area?
Yeah, I got a few. I got Armazani Jiu-Jitsu Academy, Matt Factory Wrestling Club. I also do jiu-jitsu and striking there. Stout in Pittsburgh. It's a Muay Thai gym, but they have everything there as well. And then I do some boxing in the Youngstown area with Kelly Pavlik and get some sparring with some boxers and stuff up there. So I got plenty of work to do up there as well.
How is Kelly Pavlik? That's a name from the past. I'm sorry. I didn't realize he was from the Youngstown area. How is he doing?
He's doing well. He's opening up his own boxing gym right now. He's had his own weightlifting gym and fitness gym and stuff, and he's been training boxers and stuff out at the back of his gym. He has a little setup back there, and he does a lot of personal training as well. But he's opening up a nonprofit boxing gym pretty soon here, and he's doing well. Every time I go back there, I try to get some work in with him. Bullshit with him. It's nice picking his brain.
Excellent, excellent. A great name from the past. Great fighter from boxing. So one question I have for all fighters is during fight week, what do you like to do as far as aside from making weight, of course, what do you like to do is in terms of biding the time? Do you hang out with your teammates, your team, or veg out with movies, read books, or you just like that solitude to kind of get in that time in that space to prepare for war?
I mean, I'm not one of those fighters that doesn't have to talk to anybody all week long and just wants to be by myself. Sometimes I'll play video games. If I'm in the mood to watch a movie, I'm watch a movie. If I'm in the mood to go hang out with my teammates, I will. If I'm in the mood to train, get some extra training in just because I will. If I'm in the mood to go somewhere to catch an Uber, go play some pool or go catch a movie or go do something outside of the resort, I will. The COVID protocols and everything are different now. So I'll just have to wait for the rules meeting that I have to do tomorrow and see what I'm allowed to do there. But whenever I was in Tacoma, me and my friend Roman Ferraldo went and played some pool. We went and got some food. We worked out together a couple of times, went to LA Fitness, hung out in my room sometimes, played a little bit of cards. I try to, just treat it like a normal week, and then I just go fight and go back to my normal life. Normal life all the way up, besides weight cutting, that's different. Yeah. But then go fight to go back to my normal life right after. So
excellent. And how do you like the Steelers game on Monday night? They look good.
So I didn't catch all the game because I was training. I was doing some sparring. My last sparring session, I did at nighttime just to get a fight sim and get closer to the fight time. Get my body fighting at that time. But second half of the game. And, obviously from what I was hearing from the announcers, he didn't look as good in the second half as he did in the first half. They had a lead in the first half, but together and went ahead and got a score. And then we got the 2-point conversion. He threw that to Pickens. So, I mean, I think Kenny Pickett is looking better. He's developing, but he's still a rookie. I'm big on proving yourself. Like a lot of people have the attitude that I don't got to prove myself to anybody. I mean, this life is all about proving yourself, whether it be for sports, for a job, for, college, for a significant other. You're always proving yourself for something, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I feel like he has to prove himself as well still. He still has a lot to show or not show. So I mean, it's a waiting game. We'll see how the end of the season plays out.
Okay. And who do I pick? Who would I keep? Chase Claypool or Deontay Johnson?
I would have got rid of both of them. I'm being dead serious. Listen, I'm not one of those Steelers players that thinks, or Steelers fans that think everybody on the team just great just because they're our player. Chase Claypool lays out for every ball when it's directly to his chest. He can catch it right here, but he'll lay out for it just because. Deontay Johnson drops the ball so much. I mean, I'm not going to put a number on it, but he drops it an astronomical amount of times per game. And I know last season his drop numbers were off because a couple of the drops that he had, they were saying weren't actually drops, which I don't know how. But he drops the ball a lot, and when he does catch it, he seems to run backwards. Even if he starts forward, he always ends up going backwards. Yeah. And then, like I said, Chase Claypool lays out for everything. I thought from the very beginning of the season that George Pickens was going to be our number one receiver, and he's, I feel like he's claimed that position over the rest of the season. Deontay Johnson, I feel like just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and he's not worth the money that we're paying him. I wouldn't be mad if we traded him for another draft pick as well.
Oh, well, I mean, they are people are getting injured, so that's what's going on, and that's why I asked you. But Dalton Rosta, thank you so much. Pegasus and Hercules with me December 9th. Anthony Adams. We wish you good safe travels and good health. We'll be watching next week.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Bye-bye.